All right, today we're going to talk about a spot on the tennis court that, let's be honest, scares a lot of us, the midcourt. That awkward space where points are either won or lost in the blink of an eye. We're going to figure out how to stop panicking in that zone and instead turn it into your own personal weapon. So, let's just start with a big question. Is this patch of court, this no man's land, really the most dangerous zone in tennis? For a lot of club players, the answer is a big, fat yes. It's just a minefield of unforced errors and instant regret. But for the pros? Oh, that's where they take control of the point. So what's the difference? What do they know that we don't? And yeah, that's the big puzzle here, right? In theory, getting a short ball should feel like a gift. It's your chance to go on offense, to call the shots, to finish the point. So why so often does it feel more like you've just walked right into a trap? Well, to solve this mystery, we got to define what this space actually is. The best way to think about it is as a transition zone. Some coaches even call it the yellow zone. Like a traffic light telling you, hey, make a decision and make it fast. You're going from defense to offense. And here's the key. You do not want to hang out here. You're just passing through on your way to somewhere better. And this is where it gets kind of funny. You look at official coaching manuals and they label this the attacking zone. But then you talk to actual players and they'll call it the no-hit zone or no man's land because it's just so easy to mess up there. And that gap between what it's supposed to be and what it feels like, that's exactly what we're here to fix. So the short ball comes, you're moving in, and boom, you're hit with the attacker's dilemma. You have literally a fraction of a second to make a choice that's probably going to decide the entire point. No pressure, right? And you've basically got two options. On one side, you've got the blast. You just step in and try to rip a winner. It feels great when it works, but it's super high risk. On the other side, you've got the build option. You hit a smart, solid approach shot and follow it to the net. This is way more strategic. It's about setting yourself up to win, not just ending it in one swing. Two totally different mindsets. So which one do you pick, the blast or the build? Well, you know what? It's less about what you choose and more about how you choose it. The absolute number one killer in the midcourt is indecision. It's that half commitment. You try to blast it, but you get scared and slow down. Or you try to approach, but you stop moving your feet. That hesitation, it just leads to a weak shot your opponent is going to eat for lunch. But okay, making a confident choice is only half the battle. The other half is all physical. So that brings us here, mastering the movement. Because you can have the most brilliant tactical plan, but if your body's not in the right spot to pull it off, it means nothing. So how do you get your body in the right spot? Well, it all comes down to these three keys. First, you have to move through the ball. Don't just run up to it and stop. You want your momentum carrying you forward as you hit. Second, you got to stay low and balanced. And third, it's all about those little adjustment steps right before you swing. That's what gets you perfectly set up. And really, this is the bottom line. Success in the midcourt is decided before you even make contact with the ball. If you're off balance or too close, the point's probably already lost. It all starts with your feet. Okay, so we've got the commitment, we've got the movement. Now let's really dig into that build option we talked about. Because hitting a good approach shot is probably the single most reliable way to turn that short ball into a huge advantage. See, a great approach isn't just one shot. It's this whole sequence. First, you spot the short ball early. As soon as you see it, you're moving forward, attacking it. Then you hit the approach shot. But, and this is key, you don't stop to watch it. You follow your shot in, you get yourself set at the net, and you're ready for that first volley. It's one smooth, continuous, aggressive motion. So when's the best time to do all this? Here's the secret. The perfect trigger is when you get a short ball, because your opponent is already stretched out and off balance. If they're scrambling, they have way less time to recover and hit a good passing shot. That's your green light. Go. So let's put it all together. We've talked about the choices, the movement, the strategy. Now we can finally answer that question. Is the midcourt a trap or is it a weapon? I mean, why go through all this trouble to learn the approach shot? Well, look at this number. The stats show that when a player commits to an approach and gets to the net, they win the point about 65% of the time. 65%. That's a massive edge. All of a sudden, moving forward seems like a really, really good idea. And that's the big transformation here. When you combine that decisive commitment with purposeful movement and a smart approach shot, you completely change what this area of the court means to you. What used to be your scary no-hit zone suddenly becomes your high-percentage finish zone. It's the place you go to end points on your own terms. So in the end, Every short ball is really just a question. It's asking you, are you going to hang back and play it safe? Or are you going to step up and take control? Are you going to be indecisive or are you going to commit? You have the tools now. So the next time you find yourself in that zone, what's your answer going to be?